C to the O to the D to the Y. This is Cody Hawk, and you're listening to Wrestling with Entertainment.
All right, and we closed the year out with the commander of Quirky Club, Izzy Shaw, an Australian from Australia. Um, our Australian guests never disappoint. No, Scooter?
They absolutely do not. Down Under is where it's at.
And we have a very big January schedule, so you want to not miss our social media at Wrestling with E for announcement when they come to pass. Especially for our 3-year anniversary interview. So you definitely want to check us out in the new year. Now that we're done putting ourselves over, it was not a great week for wrestling as we lost a legend. Jimmy Rave passed away earlier this week. The wrestling world was shocked. What could you tell us about Jimmy Rave, Scooter?
Well, this hit very personally for me, as I won't sugarcoat it. Jimmy Rave was a great athlete, but he had his demons, and his demons unfortunately led him down a bad road. Combine that with the active schedule of a professional wrestler, and that's a road you really don't want to go down. Oh God, he came to me in March of 2020 personally and asked me for help. This was before his first of 3 amputations. That's god awful for anybody to go through, and I really wanted to bring Jimmy's cause to a wider audience. Not that I could do much, but I felt I had some sway to get enough notice out there that the wrestling community maybe would want to come together and pitch in. Jimmy would go on to raise a bit of money for his medical bills. Unfortunately, 2 more amputations after that first one, and he was. God, this.
You okay, Scooter?
Yeah. He spent a lot of time in Impact in the early days. Spent a lot of time in Ring of Honor. Spent his last days in the ring in Atlanta for Atlanta Wrestling Entertainment. He did spend some time and he tried to get help for his addiction. Unfortunately, speaking as someone in recovery, there's always that devil on your back that is whispering, just one more, and you'll be and you'll be done. No, that's not how it works. As I mentioned, he came to me in March. His left arm was amputated in November due to an infection. And then this past October, he had lost both of his arms, both his legs to a MRSA infection at the time.
Jimmy was only 39.
He was only 39. At the time of the death, he was living with his fiance and fellow wrestler Gabby Gilbert. I can't even begin to imagine.
Oh, absolutely.
What she is going through, but I have offered her my thoughts, my prayers, and anything I could do. I'm sure there's already something in the works in terms of honoring Jimmy's memory.
Oh, absolutely.
And when we get more on that, we will let you know what it is and how you all can take an active role in it if possible.
And clearly it's a terrible thing and all of that. But the good part about it is that he could finally rest in peace now.
Yes.
Drew, do you want to add something about the memory of Jimmy Rave? I think we lost Drew. If Drew was here to begin with. Of course, trying to get Drew back here.
His connection is still good.
Yeah, I don't know. He's just muted.
Muted.
Guys?
Yes.
There he is.
There you go.
Okay. All right. For me with Jimmy Rave, I really got into Ring of Honor because of him and the Embassy. I don't know the man personally, but what irks me and what struck me the most is that I'm a year older than Jimmy Rave at the time of his passing. And demons and addiction is something that we really need to not only wrap our head around, but if you are going through something, no matter what it is, you need to ask for help.
Yes.
You need to ask. It takes more courage to say that you got a problem and you need some help than to deal with this stuff on your own. I don't know him. Like I said, I don't know him personally, but professionally, I enjoyed everything that he did. I think he was the crown jewel of the Embassy when I first started watching Ring of Honor. And it was cool to see that on social media that Prince Nana posted some pictures of him and Jimmy Rave over the years. And it's just a sad thing to lose a guy so young, because 39 ain't old.
No, it's
you know, 39 is not an old age. But like you said, James, now hopefully he can rest in peace.
And of course, thoughts and prayers go out to his family and friends during this difficult time.
And I think we're gonna post some links and resources to seek help in the description for this episode.
Yeah, we could try. What do we usually do? The hotline number?
Yeah, the hotline number.
Yeah. There'll be some links in the description of the video below, of course, if you want to, if you need them. Let's get into a bit of news on the lighter side. Kevin Owens re-signed with WWE. It's supposedly a multi-year deal with modest compensations, let's say.
Yeah.
Drew, right move for Kevin Owens to re-sign with WWE?
It's the best move. Because if you leave and you go to the stack place known as All Elite Wrestling, he becomes another cog in the wheel. Stay in WWE. You're guaranteed to be probably one of the top 3 or 4 guys in that organization. And as he said, I think in his little press release, that it was the best move for his family. And I just don't think guys want to be uprooting their families out of wherever they're living now. They're living comfortably. Everybody's comfortable. They came with a handsome offer. Why not take it? AEW looks shiny and new because everybody's going there. But in sense, you'd be still working with a bunch of people that you've already worked with over the years before you even got to WWE.
Right. And anything you want to add to that, Scooter?
I mean, $2 to $3 million contract. I think this makes Kevin Owens the smartest man in the business for staying with the WWE. I mean, and I think this kind of reveals a little bit more about the people that left, or at least a certain someone who wouldn't resign. Adam Cole. Oh, my throat.
You okay now, Scooter?
Oh yeah. I'm fine. Baby. Oh man. That Kevin Owens knows what the wrestling industry is like at the current moment. He knows AEW is oversaturated. And while there's no doubt Tony Khan would offer him a contract, Kevin Owens is not. He's about the money second, and he's about the wrestling first. And Adam Cole is a bitter man who wasn't going to be allowed to do things his way anymore. And and now he's stuck in the perennial shadow of leading a sub-faction of the Elite.
And I mean, we could get into that, but what does it tell you about WWE that they were pretty heavy on re-signing Kevin Owens?
Well, I think it shows confidence, and I think if the talent is willing to listen to the WWE will listen back. I mean, honestly, I think the more interesting part here is the fact that as of this recording, Sami Zayn is also officially re-signed.
Oh, really? I didn't hear that. I mean, they've been pushing Sami hard, especially in this kind of subplot rivalry with Brock Lesnar.
Well, you gotta wonder if Sami thinks that maybe he doesn't see, a run with, with the Universal title or the WWE Championship. So the next best thing is volunteer to be the whipping boy for them.
All right. On the opposite spectrum of pro wrestling, AEW Dynamite. Winter is coming, and winter came a lot,
And it was
came
very
so
warm.
much, and so much. Winter really came a lot, and the only person that really was satisfied was Tony Khan. Typical.
Yeah. Got some in my eye, on the carpet.
That winter's a bitch, isn't he? Hangman Page versus Daniel Bryan. Now we're time limit. Drew, right call to make, bad call to make. Your thoughts on all of that?
Okay. It's the best move you can make because here's the thing. Tony Khan was booking Winter's Coming for Tony Khan. Tony Khan wasn't booking that show for fans or anybody else. He was trying.
How he books everything?
Yes, because he is the king of the castle. Whatever he says goes, and he tries to tell these guys, you have creative freedoms. Do whatever you want to do. But in the scale of storyline, Adam Page in his first title defense in a draw, to me, didn't make sense.
Agreed.
Because you want to keep your champion strong. So even if it was something like, I don't know, somebody ran in that has angst with Daniel Bryan or Bryan Danielson, or somebody that has angst with Adam Page to cause him the match. So technically, none of them both lose. When you do this whole time limit draw thing, and it's harkening back to the old school days. It's Dusty booking 101 and Dusty finishes. Let's do a time limit draw because then nobody loses. Like that's why there's no ties in hockey anymore. But it was a stupid move, and I just feel like sometimes when you watch AEW, it's like the Tony Khan wrestling program more than it is a wrestling program that is to be an alternative for the WWE.
I agree. I mean, they could have had Hangman Page beat Bryan Danielson, and he could have still been number one contender. Nobody would have batted an eye at that. But I agree. I mean, the Hangman Page, his first title defense, needed to be a W. Agree, Scooter?
Absolutely. And well, Adam Page is a great wrestler. He is the wrong guy to book to go for an hour.
I agree with that.
Half an hour, I can understand. But big guys are not supposed to go an hour. It just points out their flaws more and more as the match goes on. Now, keep in mind that the last time Bryan Danielson faced an AEW champion, it also went to a time limit draw in a non-title match.
Correct.
So now, Bryan Danielson's going to get shoehorned as the guy that can't get a fucking win. And I never thought I'd be saying that about Daniel Bryan. God damn it!
Yeah. Could there be another wrestler named Daniel Bryan and they could be brothers and it's a thing? So we could stop this confusion between Bryan Danielson and Daniel Bryan.
It's like having Daniel Christopher and Christopher Daniels.
I would be okay with that.
Let me ask you guys this question.
Sure.
Do you think they should do away in AEW with this win-loss record crap?
Oh, from the first week they did it.
Yes.
Because it's not helping anybody.
No,
It
it's
doesn't
not.
make sense.
I if they were formatted as more of a professional sports league,
Yeah,
it
would make sense.
It would make sense. In fact, you know what? Make 2022, make the entire year about making those wins and losses matter by doing their a year-long G1.
Oh my god.
Or
like a
6 months.
season or something.
Exactly.
Where you culminate at the last pay-per-view is that so these guys are in the final four and the winners of that are going for the number one contendership for there's a champion at the end of it for every division. So these are the contenders, the top four for the tag titles, the top four for the women's belt, the top title for whatever. It just when you just say a win-loss record, like I saw on Wednesday, they threw up Wardlow's win-loss record. He's like 25-3. He should be going for the world championship with a record like that.
But I mean, most of those are from jobbers on Dark and Dark Elevation,
But it doesn't matter if it's a win-loss record and he has 25 wins in 28 matches. He should be the number one contender, not the guy that just had 6 matches in the last, 3 weeks because he joined the company and he's a hot name?
See, this is why there should be some sort of point system where, points accrue and, and that determines rankings. I would also say that AEW would benefit from taking a page from professional boxing and having 3 judges
they tried that once.
To award said points for each match.
Well,
it's a matter of trying. The wins and losses will never matter, no matter how much they get, emphasized.
I mean, we've had these conversations that have gone the whole show about this topic. Let's continue with Winter's Coming with MJF winning the Dynamite Diamond Ring for the 3rd time. It kind of feels like you only remember that he won that diamond when they have to wrestle for it again, whenever that it is that they do it, which was last week.
Well, now this is actual literal insanity. Because what's the definition of insanity? Doing the same thing over and over again and expecting a different result.
Very true.
That is MJF. And the supposed upcoming bidding war.
There was a bidding war.
The WWE is apparently very interested in MJF.
Yeah, I heard about that.
And are looking to nab him as soon as his contract ends.
Drew, do you think MJF and WWE would be a good enough by WWE? I mean, he's not the best wrestler in the world, but, and he's pretty good on the mic. But if they censor him, does that put him a crutch?
MJF's character right now, if he was WWE, it would fit in the Attitude Era, not in the PG era. Not today. He's too controversial for what he says on the mic. Yes, he's not the best in-ring performer. He, as Punk said a few weeks ago, he's just an unknown Miz. He can talk. I'll give him that. He has the gift for gab. I'll give him that. But all this, there is a bidding war and this, that, and the third. He needs to keep his ass where he is. He needs to understand where his bread is buttered, because if he goes up there to Stanford, he won't be the MJF that we all know now. He will be some watered down, like, diluted version of himself. So don't leave AEW. You're, as he keeps saying, he's one of the pillars, he's the future of the business, etc., etc., etc. But his character does not fit in Vince's toolbox right now in the PG era because of his mouth.
I couldn't agree more about that. A couple of days ago, somebody on Twitter had mentioned that they would like to see Darby Allin versus Cora Jade in a skateboarding match. Have you seen this tweet, guys? You know what I'm talking about?
That reference, that comparison has been made a lot since Cora Jade flew in on a skateboard. So that's kind of beating a dead horse at this point.
But Darby replied to the tweet, skating is a huge part of my life, not a fake character for TV, LOL. Cora Jade responded with, being a good person with no abuse allegations against me is a huge part of my life, and not just a character I play on TV.
Oh shit. Oh wow. Ooh.
Shots fired.
Oh.
Fired.
Oh.
So,
Score one for Cora. Yes.
I'm not going to say whether or not Darby has done anything. I don't know the guy. I only asked him if he ever had a conversation about himself in a supermarket. And we're not here to make allegations. But can Darby Allin at this point get canceled?
No.
Nah.
No.
Huh? What?
No one. No. People know who he is, but not enough people care about who he is to cancel him. So no.
So this goes back to people not knowing who he is in the supermarket. Okay. Great.
Yep.
Johnny Gargano. Soon after we had a conversation last week on the show, he opened a pro wrestling piece store and a Twitch account. Signs that he is not signing with WWE, Scooter?
I mean, as long as he's not the Chugs. I mean, if he starts doing stuff with Tyler Breeze and Sean Spears like I've been doing one time, just once.
Now you're just buddies and your Twitch buddies and.
Yes, I am the dingo to his dango. Gargano just seems like the guy who would be like, he'll be on Twitch, he'll be like, am I doing this right? He'd be like, all right, today we're going to play Super Mario Brothers on the NES.
There was nothing wrong with Super Mario Brothers.
No.
I feel like that was a dig.
Or maybe Gargano is gonna get recommended to play Doki Doki Literature Club and be like, "Oh, this is a nice. What the hell is that?"
Maybe he could review 2 Goals, 1 Cup. Drew, do you see Johnny Gargano making the dumb move of going to AEW. Maybe a smarter move would be to go to an Impact. Maybe wait it out and see if Ring of Honor is still a thing in April.
Best move for Johnny Gargano is to go home, be with Candice and his new baby. That's his best move.
Because she still has a job in WWE, correct?
Yes.
And,
The best move is for him to go home, reevaluate, look at the landscape, and then pick your shot. Because if you are running off emotion, you're gonna make the wrong decision. This is coming from a guy that's a dad. You have to, when it comes to taking a job or moving or anything like that, you can't think with your heart. You gotta think with your head. So what he needs to do is go home, enjoy that new baby with Candice, and reevaluate and see where the market is in a few months. Because like you said, we don't know what Ring of Honor is going to look like in April. We don't know what AEW is going to look like in the next few months. We don't know anything. If we haven't learned anything from this thing called COVID-19 or Omicron or Delta, is that we ain't no shit. And when we figure that out, then we can make moves. Before that, Johnny Gargano, I would say this: go home, be with your wife, be with your new baby, reevaluate, and come back and do whatever you're gonna do. Because that would make you a bigger star. If Ring of Honor is gonna be restarting and only want to pick up guys for a couple months or do a couple programs here and there, sure, he'd be a name I would draw after. If WWE is looking for him, sure. Look at the marketplace then. Don't do it now. Because right now you don't know what's going on.
You make a really good point, though.
Plus, he has to check.
He's a free agent. What rush are you into to signing anywhere?
Oh yeah,
right?
Yeah. Exactly.
What rush are you into? They're going to be coming to you because you already have established yourself as a brand. Johnny Gargano, everybody knows Johnny Gargano is the heart and soul of NXT. He is the face of NXT. No matter if it's the black and gold NXT or the rainbow NXT, you know Johnny Gargano. And if the case is I go home and reevaluate and I see what the landscape is, it equals maybe more money in my pocket. I'm just saying.
I just want to know, when did NXT start supporting the events? Rainbow NXT.
Plus Gargano has to also like work on make sure that Dexter gets into a good school.
Very true.
Exactly. You gotta look at your future. You're not gonna be wrestling for the rest of your life. You're just not. Maybe you gotta look at all aspects of it. And like you said, the business is slow. It's changing so rapidly now. Just like you just look at the landscape. We had Final Battle. Now Ring of Honor's gone dark. AEW's a thing. Impact's still going on. You have MLWs around. You have NWA's doing their thing. New Japan is doing their thing in North America. So if I'm a free agent, I'm looking at the landscape and I'm like, I'm not signing an exclusive to nobody. That would be my mindset, because they need me more than I need them.
On Pro Wrestling Tees last week, Hook, son of Taz, outsold CM Punk in merchandise. Scooter, does this mean anything?
That's none of your business, and I'll thank you to stay out of my personal affairs. No, by the way, we can now only refer to him as Hook, son of Taz.
Well, what do you want to call him?
Pete Jr.? No, no, it doesn't mean anything. I mean,
it was a white shirt that just said Hook, and it outsold CM Punk. That's gotta mean something.
My grandmother could outsell CM Punk, and she's dead. No. Do you think Punk even cares?
Punk probably don't care, but Hook might. And AEW might.
And you know what? CM Punk will be glad to talk him up and be like, yeah, that's the kid that outsold me in t-shirts.
Joe, agree with Scooter or agree with me?
I agree with Scooter. It means nothing. Okay, he outsold him. It's whoop-de-doo. It's again, we can't keep relying on guys that are 41, 54, 69, 73 years old to carry on the business of professional wrestling. We can't. So if this young kid is outselling a guy that's my age, there's nothing wrong with it. You know who's buying Hook stuff? Hook's peers are buying Hook stuff because it's the cool thing to do.
So you
The
might
TikTok crowd is doing it. So it doesn't mean anything. It does, and as Scooter said, Punk would probably go in the ring and cut a 20-minute promo and said, "Yeah, Hook outsold me. Great." You know what I mean? So it's nothing. It doesn't mean anything.
people are getting hooked on Hook.
People are getting hooked on Hook.
But this does open a possibility for Dustin Hoffman for an AEW appearance.
And that brings us to New Japan. The Best of Super Juniors and World Tag League concluded earlier this week. Hiromu Takahashi won Best of the Super Juniors for the third time. And Goto and Yoshihashi won Best of World Tag League. Drew, your thoughts on Hiromu Takahashi winning the Best of the Super Juniors?
To be honest with you, it didn't really matter to me. Like honestly, I'm just personally, I'm really cold on New Japan. Like after the G1 and everything like that, I'm interested to see where they're going as a company with this whole Wrestle Kingdom over. I think it's 4 days this year.
3 days.
But this whole Best of the Super Juniors, I'm like, to be honest with you, after the G1, I'm kind of burnt out from New Japan, and then when this tournament rolls around, I might take a look at 1 and 2 matches. So it's okay whoever wins it, but does it help elevate them? The guy that's won it the last 3 years, do we really know a lot about him? Has he been featured a lot? Has he been like thrown up there in a main event picture for a title shot, anything like that? It's just like, ho hum, here's another tournament. We put the same guys out there. We see what happens. I'm just really cold on New Japan. It's like I want to see them grow, but in the same token, it's like if I miss it, it doesn't really hurt my like wrestling watching, to be honest with you.
And I mean, I kind of felt like if anybody should have won it, it should have been Desperado. He's the champion currently. And Hiromu really didn't need that W. Another a Super Junior win. He's won it twice already. But I guess that's where they're going. Another Hiromu Desperado match anyway. So I guess they still got to where they needed to go. And Scooter, your thoughts on Yoshihashi?
Fuck Yoshihashi.
And that brings us to Wrestle Kingdom. It's January 4th, 5th, and the 8th. The one thing that really interested me was no Kota Ibushi and no Jay White. What do you think about that, Scooter? Two of the biggest stars not being featured on at least 2 nights of Wrestle Kingdom.
I mean, that you would think Kota I could probably even understand. Jay White though, I mean, you know what? On second thought, I could probably even understand Jay White, because you know what? It is strange that both of them are not there. God, I'm having trouble keeping track of Jay White because I don't remember the last time. Was he at the last New Japan event?
He was not. He's been wrestling on
Impact.
New Japan Strong in the States
Strong.
as of late.
Yes. So that's why. Yeah, that's what I thought. Because he can't get back there.
Yeah.
He can't get back to Japan.
But Kota Ibushi not even in anything for Wrestle Kingdom. Is there heat on Kota Ibushi for losing the G1 the way he did?
No, not at all.
What about you, Drew? Your thoughts on Kota Ibushi and Jay White not being in Wrestle Kingdom this year?
It's sad. But like I said before, it's New Japan to me is cold. There's nothing there that is going to excite a crowd unless you're in Japan or you're a New Japan fan. If this is a way that you're going to garner more fans to watch your product, it's a bad way of doing it by excluding 2 of your top stars unless they're showing up on that whole New Japan versus Noah show that's going to be happening during Wrestle Kingdom.
All right. I think we'll conclude the news there, and we'll get a review of Wrestle Kingdom when we come back in the new year. Now a quick word from our sponsors.
Hey guys, this is Brutal Bob Evans from Hangs with Bob Seminars and TheWrestleLife.com, and you are listening to Wrestling with Entertainment, one of my favorite podcasts in the whole wide world.
Hey folks, this is the Colossal Mike Law, and you are listening to Wrestling with Entertainment. Enjoy the show, support these guys. We appreciate it very much. We'll see you at ringside.